Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today's story is a thrill story. The name of that story is The Memory of a Killer. Let's get started. Lena sat by the window of her college dorm, staring blankly at the campus quad. The cool breeze drifted in through the cracked window, but she didn't feel the chill. Her thoughts were elsewhere, swirling in a storm of confusion. Why couldn't she remember? It had been months since she'd met him. Adam. That's what everyone called him. The name seemed so ordinary, so normal. But she wasn't sure if she even knew who he really was. The first time she met Adam was at a family gathering. It was a strange, unremarkable evening until he walked into the room. Lena had been introduced as a cousin to someone she didn't even know, and she felt nothing but confusion at the sight of his face. Yeah, there was something strangely familiar about him, as if she should have known him for years. The way he smiled at her, the way he spoke to her, it all felt right. There was an attraction, a pull she couldn't explain. They ended up talking for hours, sharing stories, laughing. In that moment, it felt like the world outside didn't exist. Lena was completely drawn in by him. The end of the night, Lena's memory was clouded. She couldn't remember exactly what happened, but somehow she ended up in the same bed as Adam. She didn't know how. She didn't even know if it was her choice. But she felt safe. She had to feel safe, right? Present day. Lena awoke with a jolt, her head pounding as if someone had struck it with a blunt object. She rubbed her temples, trying to push through the fog in her mind. She hadn't a clear thought in days. Where was she? Where did feel everything wrong? Who was Adam? A faint memory played in her mind, like a broken film reel. She saw his face again, smiling. Too charming, too perfect. She felt an odd sense of déjà vu, but then, nothing. It was like trying to hold onto water that slipped through her fingers. She glanced at the bedside table. There was a note. She couldn't remember writing it. You don't remember me, do you? Lena's breath hitched. The handwriting was messy, hurried, but it was undeniable. It was Adam's handwriting. Flashback. The fog in her memory grew thicker. She remembered the family gathering, the food, the laughter, but not much else. There was a strange emptiness in the gaps of her recollection. Adam has been so kind, so caring. Or was he? Did he seem too perfect? Lena rubbed her eyes. The amnesia had to be a part of her life as long as she could remember. Literally, it started after a traumatic accident years ago, and it made relationships and memories so much harder to hold onto. But there was something more to Adam, something dark. A conversation they'd had, the night they'd had, came back to her. A conversation she hadn't understood at the time. I'm not like other guys you've met, Lena. Her chest tightened as another memory surfaced. She remembered walking to the door to leave, but she felt dizzy, like something inside her was screaming to warn her. Do you trust me? Adam has whispered in her ear, his low voice and menacing. She had smiled and walked out of the room, but the unease lingered. Presently, the sound of a door creaking behind her made her heart skip. She turned around quickly. There he was, standing in the doorway, Adam. His eyes looked onto hers, and a chilling smile spread across his face. Do you miss me, Lena? He asked, his voice like a honey. But there was something predatory in the way he spoke. Lena's mind was spinning. What was he doing here? Why was she so drawn to him, even though every instinct screamed at her to run? I don't remember, she whispered, her hand trembling. Adam stepped forward, the smile will never leaving his lips. That's okay, you will. In time, you will remember everything. She tried to speak, but the words got stuck in her throat. His gaze was too intense, too familiar. He was too close. I'll make sure of it. Suddenly, everything clicked in Lena's mind. She remembered fragments now. His strange obsession with her. His behavior that seemed off. His overly possessive nature. The way he would disappear for days and come back with strange looks in his eyes. The blood on his clothes after a bad night. Then the final horrifying realization. Adam was a serial killer. She had been drawn into his web, but she couldn't remember how far into it she'd gone. She wasn't sure if she'd been a victim, a bystander, or something worse. Her stomach churned as the truth hit her like a wave. But the worst part wasn't the fear. It was that in some twisted part of her, she still loved him. Weeks later, Lena's memories were finally gone. She had no recollection of Adam, the killer who had once been her boyfriend. She didn't remember the pain, the fear, or the twisted relationship they shared. But Adam wasn't done with her as Lena walked through the campus. A brief moment of clarity struck. Why was her heart racing? Why did the air feel thick with the danger? And then, from behind her, she heard a whisper. I'll be always with you, Lena. Always. Her body froze. But when she turned around, there was no one there. The end. Hope you like it, guys, and have a good day.